Hey, welcome back to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and around here I like to explore the world of fountain pens, ink, and paper. And today it is the pen realm, but not just any pen. The folks at PenandFriend sent this box with a pen inside that I can't wait to show you. It's a pen that not only writes well, but represents some true craftsmanship and artwork. And on top of that, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video, because later in the video, I'm going to share a very exciting and important announcement with you. So let's not waste any time. Let's spin that camera and get right to it. All right, let's get to the unboxing. And first, this comes in a nice wooden box. You open that up and you find this pen pouch, which you've probably seen. Some Japanese pens, some Chinese pens come in pouches like this. I've had some others that did. For example, a couple of my Pen BBS pens did, although this is just a bit nicer than those pen pouches that I've received, though those were quite good. And I think this is a nice touch, and it does help the pen to arrive in good shape. Open up that pouch, and there you have the pen in a protective plastic sleeve, and just take a look at that. So again, this is an Urushi finished pen, so that in itself is a craft and an artisan work. And then you have the Raden work that is here. And the Raden work you see on this one, which is called the Starry Night version of the pen, is made of pieces of shells, of seashells. And you can see how the light hits that, and it's really done well, I think, in this pen. This is one of those pens that you find yourself stopping and looking at the work and how that's done. I do also think that this gold and orange dust within the paintwork here also just looks quite good. Lots of color in those pieces of seashell. Now for a closer look, we'll go over the design of the pen. Of course, the top is just polished and flat, and then you come down to the roller clip, and that works well. No issues there. And of course, you can not get far down the pen at all before you start to see some of that artwork. Let me see if I can get that a little bit closer. The glare here is going to wreak havoc with me just a little bit, but do you see all that nice color within that spot? And look at that one. That really lights up quite nicely. Really looks good. There's a good angle that you can start to kind of see all the colors. And of course, each section of shell is going to be different. No two pens just alike, not even two pieces of shell, of course, are going to be just alike. You come and you have another bright one there, really nice purple here going on in this little small one. And some of the small ones really have more color than you might expect. Really looking quite good all the way down the pen. And one of the things that I like about this is that they provided lots of color. It does, I think, stay nice and true to the Starry Night theme and kind of a galaxy theme, but without overdoing it. For example, it's just a little bit more subtle than, this is my Bennu Milky Way galaxy, which I do really like, and I like that finish. However, this is much more in your face, and Bennu is kind of, you like it or you don't with the amount of sparkle and glitter and things that they put in their pens. This is a little bit more subtle, and I like it, and I think that black Urushi finish looks quite nice, and it's polished very well, and I'm just impressed with that overall. As you can see, this tapers down nicely. You can see that's done well. The pen itself tapers down toward the section and then again toward the bottom of the barrel, and then of course that is also just a well-polished flat end. Taking off the cap there's one and maybe right at 1.5. So 1.5 turns to get that off. Now, technically, you can post it, but I would not. You don't want to damage or scratch that finish, so I would consider this a unwise to post pen. As you come down to the grip, there's really not much of a step down at all. You can see that tapers down to minimize a step down. The threads are done nicely. They're not bothersome in the least. And then you have a decently long section. Feels good in the hand. Very perfectly balanced. This is not a heavy pen at all. and the balance is just quite nice. It is long enough for, I think, most writers. There will be some with, gigantic hands that may find it a little bit short, but for most people, that's going to be about right. And then you can see it has a pretty pronounced flare out at the end of that section, and then we come to the nib. Now this is a medium nib, and so it has just that simple floral logo, some scrolling around, and Iridium Point Germany, although this is a Tianzi Chinese nib and not a German nib. Now if you get this in a fine nib, from those I've seen, you're likely to get one with the Tianzi Temple logo, but this comes with that simple floral logo. And these are compatible with Yovo nibs. So if you would want something like a stub or something like that, and you wanted to swap this to a Yovo nib, that can be done. Then you open up the pen, and it is a cartridge converter compatible pen with a converter included. And as you can see, I didn't make it very far after the unboxing before there was some ink in that pen. And that converter is going to be compatible with international cartridges. But me, I'm just glad there's a converter included. Now just take one more look at that before we go on to a size comparison. Really just lovely work they've done. And for our size comparison today, we have, of course, that Starry Night Raden pen from Tianzi. We have that first Tianzi pen in blue that I think is just a gorgeous acrylic, and another really beautiful blue, the Pen BBS 480, and that Petrol Lamy All-Star. And as you can see, all of these pens are about the same in diameter, although very different in the way each is going to feel in hand. And here we have the pens in their unposted length, and as you can see, really pretty close race on this one. So that gives you a really good idea of whether or not that pen's going to be comfortable for you if it is the same length, basically, as that Lamy All-Star unposted. And here are the pens in their posted length. Now again, do not post this pen. I just kind of have that gently situated just to give you an idea of its comparison, but I really don't recommend posting this pen. Now just before getting into the writing test, I should mention the other finish of this pen is called Cherry Blossom, and it is also a really attractive finish. Again, this is a medium. Writes nice and smooth. That's about like what I thought the wetness might be. Probably, let me try this. You can get just a little bit of line variation there, but not too much. This is zero pressure, this is moderate pressure, and this is as much as I'm going to give it. And you can see there is just a little bit there. I wouldn't want to push it too hard because it is just a steel nib. It is, by the way, 18 karat gold plating on that nib. Check and see if James still remembers the alphabet. Never really a guarantee, you know. I can get at least that far. Oh, I was about to do the speed test, and I just realized, second time lately, I forgot to tell you what ink I'm even writing with. And this one is one of my favorites from Diamine. Oop. And this is, I think, appropriate to a Starry Night. This is a majestic blue. I like this ink because it has not just a vibrancy of its blue, but also has some nice sheening characteristics on paper like this. Now let's see if it keeps up. And this is in real time. No pressure, just going quickly. And I did not lift for once, and the pen performed perfectly well. Really nice. I find the nib is nicely tuned. You can hear a little bit of audible feedback, probably especially with the mic that I'm using today, but it writes really nicely. Smooth on this paper, just the slightest just feedback to know where you are on the page, not anything too bad. Nice and smooth and good flow. You can tell that there's some good flow because if you can see this on the screen, there's some nice sheening here where I pushed that nib just a little bit to see if it would do a little bit of line variation. And so, yeah, really nice. Kept up there beautifully well, no issues whatsoever. I really like the feel of this pen in hand. The grip is a nice shape, nice size. It suits my grip in hand quite well, and it just very comfortable pen to write with. Very well balanced. I mean, unposted, it's just perfectly balanced. And nice. You know, the only challenge in writing with this pen that I can see is easy to have those moments where you go squirrel and look at the pen instead of what you're writing. You know, that can happen. But that's okay. I think a pen like this, that's really kind of built in. It's meant to be a little bit distracting. Someone has done a great job. It's just fantastic craftsmanship. Now this is, I will say, let's go into our pros and cons. Pros, beautiful pen. Writes wonderfully, as you could see, keeps up really well. Nib is very nicely tuned. It's compatible with JoWo nibs. All of those things to me are pluses. I like the clip, just as a personal preference. Not everybody's going to like that. I like that. It's a pro to me. I think the design of this, I mentioned the subtlety. I love that this is really nice artwork. The craftsmanship is very well done, on par with other pens that I have not owned but only gotten to see because these pens are expensive. And certainly those coming from Japanese makers, very great craftsmanship. And what does it the scriptures say? A workman is worthy of his hire. So I'm not calling that a con on their pens that they're expensive. It's just the reality. They're out of my ballpark. This one brings it down closer to a lot of people's ballpark. It is $299. That's very expensive for people like me and for some of you. But for this kind of craftsmanship and artwork, that's actually quite a good value. It is, then when you look at it that way, a good deal. If you compare it, for example, even though it's a steel nib, where a sailor pen, just a standard sailor, is often up at the same price range when it's just acrylic, not even necessarily a special edition, and certainly not Raden or Urushi. So if you look at it that way, and of course, no, you're not getting the gold nib, but if you put a gold JoWo nib in this, you're still coming in for less than many Urushi and Raden artwork pens, if you were so inclined to do that. Now myself, I'm probably not supposed to say this as a pen reviewer, but it's going to be true. I'm just going to tell you what I think. There are gold nibs I like, but just in general, maybe they're a little overrated most of the time. There are applications in which they make more sense and they do a better job than steel, but for just normal writing, fines, nibs, fines, mediums, extra fines, I just find that my experience with them is that they're nice, but not always that necessary. So you might not even want to do such an upgrade. I think it writes really well as it is. It is a beautiful pen, and I think they've done a wonderful job. And I think this is one that is worthy of you looking at. And with that, let's move on to that special announcement. All right, so what's the big announcement about this beautiful Raden and Urushi pen? It is that one of these pens could be yours. Pen and Friend are sponsoring a drawing for subscribers to this channel. So, first prize will be one of these pens. Second and third prizes will be $30 gift certificates so that you can go to PenandFriend.com and do a little shopping of your own. Now, the rules are really easy. First, subscribe to this channel and like this video. Second, write down your thoughts about this pen in the comments below. Third, you can get an extra chance to win this pen or one of the 2 gift certificates if you will share this video with your friends and use the hashtag #FountainPenGiveaway. And fourth, if you're on Instagram, go and follow Pen and Friend. Now, a few important things. First, this is open internationally. Second, the winners will be announced in a video right here on the channel by me. Anybody else who tells you, hey, you've won, telegram me this, or instant message me that, ignore that. It's going to be announced publicly right here in a video, and that will be your confirmation. And then you follow the instructions in that video so that we can get you your prize. Again, thank you very much to TNZ and PenandFriend.com for providing this for you, the subscribers. Thank you for your participation and good luck. And to all of you, God bless you and have a great day.